Hi everybody, happy Labor Day. I'm going to really quickly send this over to my VIP group. If you are not a Chalk Couture designer and you would love to be in the VIP group, please comment VIP below. I just got back inside. I had been working on my Jeep, adding accent colors to it. So today is the 4th. Normally I would not go live on a holiday because most people aren't going to watch it live. But if you just so happen to pop in, say hello. If you watch this on a replay, go ahead and put hashtag replay. I wanted to chalk today because I haven't been in my chalk room in forever, it feels like. And so, sorry about that. I don't know why, but all of a sudden I lost signal. Okay, so today we're going to work on the Vintage Truck. This is a chalk made kit. I am so beyond excited that they brought the Vintage Truck back. It is my all-time favorite transfer and all-time favorite surface. And I was so sad when they retired them that I bought a whole bunch of them because I was so sad. But they came out with a new kit and it has a new transfer that comes with it. So today we're going to do the apples for fall. I think that's super cool. And then the other side, we're going to do the sunflowers. And we're going to use our Hey Pumpkin. We're going to use the, oh my goodness, guys, moss. I can't even think today. And we're going to use the cherry red. I do have candy apple red over here just in case we want to use that. And we're going to do this kit. Everything, hello, Lori. Everything will be in a cart link on how to get all of this stuff, of course, as always. And you can add to or take away from the cart link. So let's get started. Let's open up this kit. Let me sit the transfer down for just a second. Let's open up this kit. Now, I know the kit comes with a bunch of stuff. It does come with paste, so if you want to use the paste, you know, obviously feel free to do that. It comes with 4 vintage trucks, and that is huge. 4 vintage trucks, that's a lot because they're double-sided. So you absolutely could do so many. You could do one for Halloween, one for fall, one for Christmas, one for, you know, like you could do it for all the seasons. That would be super cool. And we're just going to use one today. We're just going to do one of the trucks. And they are wood, so you will want to wax them first. I'm going to set these off to the side. Like I said, I have more vintage trucks, but I did get the kit, so I want to show you guys what the kit looks like. It does come with another transfer, which is the Vintage Truck double-sided, just plain Vintage Truck transfer. I just cut this and it did not cut through. Oh boy. That's the kind of day I'm going to have today, but it's okay. It's fine. All right, so when you get your pieces, these are the really cool blocks that they can sit up on top of. You can actually chalk right on those blocks. And then you got these blocks. One is for the, let me look at the transfer. One is for the sunflowers and I would say sunflowers and maybe the gourds and like vegetables. And then the apples look like they would be the same as the balloons. So that's super, super cool. We're going to have to get some black velvet, I think, off of the wall in just a second. But we're going to do all of this. So let's pull this up. This is going to be a little bit longer of a live. So if you are trying to do other things, you can always come back and watch the replay. We are going to get everything prepped and ready to go. I am starting to decorate for fall. And I actually today put out my harvest sign. And I have a pumpkin that's metal that I stick out in my front box. And I have a hello flag with sunflowers on it. All right, let me grab a black velvet off the wall. And so the colors that come in the kit, I think there is black velvet in here. Maybe not. You got 2 papaya. Let's open it. Let's open it and see what we got. Now these will do a bunch of designs, guys. They will, I promise. You can do a whole bunch with these. And it comes with the paste trays, and it comes with the mini squeegee. Okay, so you got papaya, shimmer harvest, eucalyptus, bark, and one camel. So those are the colors that you want to use. Feel free to use those. They will work with all of these transfer designs. We just pulled some off the wall because I just wanted to do it a little bit different. I'm going to grab out some squeegees. Let's just grab some, maybe some minis and some small. All right, so now, as always, you want to keep your packaging in your backer sheet because these are reusable. 8 to 12 times, sometimes more. And these are so amazing because each piece that can cut apart can be used 8 to 12 times, which is just super, super cool. So we have the vintage truck. This truck is a little bit different than our old ones, only because the wheels are a little bit more defined on this one, which is actually really, really cool. And whenever you're doing a layered design, you want to make sure that you are being able to line it up right. Well, this transfer is see-through, so it definitely can be lined up really easily. I'm just trying to cut there. We might end up only doing one side today just because of how long this might take. So I'm just going to cut across here. So you absolutely could take this really cool pattern and run this pattern along the bottom, along that base. Absolutely could do that. I do like the birthday thing. I think that's cute. I didn't even notice that when they showed it to us. I screamed a little bit when this came back. I was so excited because I am a huge Vintage Truck fan, and like I said, it really upset me when they got rid of it. And sunflowers always remind me of my grandmother, and they remind me of fall. So sunflowers are just amazing. And I grew up in Michigan where they have a lot of apple orchards, so apples always remind me of fall as well. And a lot of our vintage trucks, this base here can be, so many different things can be put on that, like different words from different transfers, so you can mix and match. Kits is a great place to start if you don't know where to start with chalk. Let me make sure that, oh, I didn't cut it all. That, so if you're like, I don't know where to begin, absolutely can do, you know, a kit because it's just easier. All right, now we got it all cut apart, so I'm going to put that down. All right, I'm going to bend you guys down here so you guys can see better on what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to set this off to the side for just a second, along with these pieces that go in the bed of the truck. And we are going to wax this. I'm obviously going to go that way with it. So the truck itself, now we have done this where we've done this part in bark and camel to make it look more like wood. You can do it in so many different ways. So I'm looking at this, thinking to myself, what colors do we want to go with? And I feel like we need to do all of this in candy apple. That's what I feel. I feel a candy apple and then this outline part right here in black velvet. I just feel like those are the colors that, or cherry. We could do it in cherry as well. But we want to wax this first. So you always want to wax a porous surface. You guys can see that's a brand new wax. So I'm actually not going to use that one. I'm going to use the one that I already have open, which has very little wax left in it. You can see it just around the edges. But it's enough to do this, believe me. Plenty. I just dab it on in different spots just to kind of move it around a little bit, give it a little bit of, you know, more movement in it to get it around. Now, if you are having a little bit of a hard time getting the wax out, you can always heat it up and just kind of heat it up a little bit. I use my quick dry tool and give it a little bit of a heat hit to it just to kind of give it, make it a little bit more, so, you know, softer for you to use. So this is done. So we're going to sit this off to the side. We are going to grab out the truck. We're going to work on the truck. So we're going to sit these up here. So as always, you want to write on the back of your backer sheets because they are both glossy. Now, some of our new transfers are coming with a different color backer sheet, which is amazing. But this one is A1. So this is truck A1 top and dash. I do that because I want to know, one, how they're going to go back on there, and how many uses I'm getting out of it. It just helps me. And of course, as always, you get 4 trucks with this. So that's 4 different designs. That's why this one goes only in one direction. That's why the other one, let me show you the other transfer so you guys can see what I'm talking about. This is the old vintage truck transfer. This one is multiple directions. See, you can do it multiple different directions. So just kind of keep that in mind. That does come with the kit. All right, so now we are going to fuzz. We're going to fuzz this part first. As always, keep your packaging in your backer sheet. And we are going to fuzz, fuzz, fuzz. Now, the more silk screen you have, the less fuzzing you're going to need. So keep that in mind as well. I think what I'm going to do, because we're going to do this in candy apple or cherry, I think we're just going to do the whole thing, even though that would, I normally would do it in, oh my goodness, it's stuck, hold on, in bark and camel, but I don't really feel like opening up the thing right now. I mean, we can. But you want to buff this out. And that just kind of takes all that extra wax off of it. Okay, and then we're going to sit this on. Super easy to line up because of the fact that these transfers are now more see-through. So it's super easy. They do have these lines. Oh, hold on a second, because they have these, what we call, I just saw that I have a piece of dirt or something. These little marks right here. That's more for when you're putting it on a regular surface, because you totally can do that. You can use this vintage truck. Hold on. Not liking the placement of that. And that's what I love about our transfers as well. There's a hair right here. I don't want that there, obviously, because that's going to play in that. But you can pull it up and redo it, reposition it multiple times. I just want to make sure. This one feels like it's a little bit smaller. Okay, so we're just going to do it in one solid color. Now, if I was going to do this in wood, but to make it look like wood, I would tape it off using placement tape. Let's do cherry, since this is one of our colors of this season, and you can see how pretty that color is. It does look different than our candy apple. This is candy apple. It's brighter. You can see it's just a little bit brighter, but it's close. It's very close. All right. I did stir up my paste, because you always want to stir your paste up. It's just like paint. The longer it sits, the more it needs to be stirred. Now, obviously, if you wanted the tires to be a different color, placement tape is your best friend for that kind of stuff. And I always just I'll add it to the cart. Now, if you don't want it, you can take it out. Okay, so think about that too, that you don't have to have all the things. It's just fun to have all the things, right? Placement tape is not that expensive, though. I think it's like 2 something. I don't even know. I know it's not that expensive. But if you don't have our placement tape and you still want to do something like that, you can use washi tape. But don't use painter's tape because it will tear that silk screen. And then you're going to be really upset that it tore. Now, obviously, you want to make sure you have no lines because you're going to see lines if you do have lines because of it being so much silk screen. I'm just trying to make sure that it's completely covered. I don't see any lines, so let's grab out a paste tray just to set our squeegees on. And there's that truck. So pretty. You're going to want to make sure it's nice and dry before you do the next layer. Now, a lot of people recommend you wax in between, and you absolutely can do that. If you feel that it's going to make a difference, I suggest that you do. But you'll see that it'll go from a glossy finish to a matte finish or a chalky finish. There's a spot that bled just a little bit, but that's going to be really easy to clean up. I love this. Like, this is like my all-time favorite. So excited. So excited that it came back. But it is only available in the kit, so just keep that in mind. But this kit is valued super high, and it's not that high of a cost, which is just so cool. And if you really wanted to, you could sand these down and redo them. You can absolutely do that. I've sanded them down and redone them. I'm just trying to make sure that this is nice and dry. Now, it might feel dry on the top, but it might not be dry underneath, so that's why I'm kind of going over it a little bit. Like I said, you can wax over top of it, too, if you want. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go with it. I always say the vintage truck turns out the way the vintage truck wants to turn out. So we're going to do this one next. We're going to fuzz it. And, of course, I dropped my fuzzing cloth on the ground. Because, you know, I do that kind of stuff. But it's all good. And you can always fuzz on your clothing as well. But I have animals, and I'm not going to do that. Because their hair will end up all over. Now, this one's going to need a little bit more fuzzing because there's not as much silk screen. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So you could actually do this truck in bark and then over top of it with camel. You could do it all the different colors. We have so many colors to choose from. This is just how I'm going to do it right now because I think that's the way I want to do it. But like I said, you make it yours, unique to you. I just want to, oh, that's still super sticky. We don't want it that sticky. So another thing, like a little trick that I do is I will move it around on the fuzzing cloth just to kind of use some of that terry cloth to pull those fibers and kind of fuzz that really, really well. Jeans actually work really, really well, to be honest, to fuzz it. Like a sweater, sweatpants. If you don't have a fuzzing cloth, of course, like I said, I will put it in to the cart. Okay, so now, let's see. That looks about right where it's supposed to be. That looks good to me. I'm just kind of eyeballing it here. Okay, so now we're going to go back over top of all of this with the black velvet. My black velvet I did not stir up, so let's get that stirred up a little bit. Just use a little stir stick. You want it to be the consistency of sour cream or yogurt. If it is dried out, guys, you can bring it back. Use distilled water, and it will come back. So we're just going to go over top of the spots that are open. Kind of silk screen. You just want to make sure it's going over top. You're pulling all the extra off, running it over. Super cute. I'm loving the new design of the truck. It just gives it so much. I love that. All right. Pretty sure I got all that covered. So we're going to close that up. I'm going to slowly pull this off. Holding, holding, holding. See how much it pulled off that front? And it's pulling off the rest of the red. Oh guys, it's still too sticky. It was still too sticky. So that did not work out. But it gave the truck like a really big vintage color now, didn't it? So normally I would just sand this down and redo it. But you could leave it, or you could sand it down and redo it, do it the other side. You could do so many different things. I'm actually just going to leave it this way. Kind of make it look like an old rusty truck. I might go back over top of it again after I've cleaned that other transfer. Just kind of sit it off to the side for right now. I'll wash my hands because my hands are all gunky. I kind of like it. It kind of looks like an old beat up truck. But again, if you didn't like it, you could always change it. There's nothing stopping you from making it, unique to you. So I'm looking at the sunflowers, and I'm pretty sure the sunflowers go on this one. Yes, they go on that one. So let's just do the sunflowers, and then we'll do the sunflower wording on the base. We're going to use Hey Pumpkin for the sunflowers. And we'll use Hey Pumpkin for the words on that as well. Now, normally I would wax this. But since I'm not going over it again, I'm just going to do this real quick. So that transfer, like I said, was too sticky, so it pulled most of the paste off. But you know what? Sometimes you just go with it, right? Sometimes you just go with it. If you don't like it, you could always sand it down and redo it. And repaint it white or paint it blue or whatever. I've actually sanded them down, like I said, and done them just on the wood color that is actually there. Now that I'm looking at it and it's sitting there, it kind of looks like an old rusted out truck, which is kind of cool. Okay, so I'm going to do these little sunflowers. Now, normally I would do these little spots red, and I could absolutely do that. Oh my goodness, this one is is a little dried up on the outside. But I think we're just going to go, let's see. Let's grab bark off the wall and do those spots. We'll just touch them up with, we'll use the detail tool. Let me make sure that that's stirred up. And it is, so let's grab out the detail tool. And we'll grab another detail tool to do the bottom, or to do the actual sunflower. What I love about the detail tool is it makes it very easy, obviously, to give it that little detail. And it's kind of like using a marker, the way you hold it and the way it works. Now, when I started, they didn't have the detail tool, so you had to cut a squeegee to make the squeegee work, which was kind of it's weird. I'm not going to lie. It's a little weird, but it worked. We made it work. And then they came out with that, and I was like, oh, perfect, perfect, perfect. Actually, let's use the end of a multi-tool for the yellow. Now, normally, like I said, I would pull this off, tape it. I'm just going to kind of go with it and get it in here. Work pretty quickly. So the end of our multi-tool is also a squeegee. Just an FYI. So if you need a smaller squeegee, that multi-tool is great. And it's shaped to go into our jars so that you can put like in the jar to stir it too. So keep that in mind. And then we'll do the detail tool closer to the center because I don't want to redip or anything like that. If I have the bark on there, which I do have the bark on there. So I'm going to set that off to the side. And I'm going to get in here with the detail tool. Get really close. Doesn't have to be perfect. Now, if you're a perfectionist, then, you know, placement tape is your buddy. I will tell you that. I'm a little bummed about the peeling of the paint, but I'm going to just go with it and make it look like an old rusted out truck. We have a thing here in Kentucky called Abandoned Kentucky, and it's really cool. It's a online Facebook group, and we share abandoned parts of Kentucky. See how cool that looks? And I didn't use any placement tape. And so that truck kind of reminds me of something that would be sitting in an old barn or by an old barn. You guys can see I just did that pretty much by hand. I didn't use any placement tape. The more you practice, the more you do chalk, the actual better you will get at the technique. Now, could it be a little bit better? Sure. If I wanted to do it extremely, take a long time to do it, it would work. Okay, so next we are going to do the fresh sunflowers sold here. And what we're going to do is we're going to put that on here. And I thought about doing it just completely in, let's think. Let's do it all in brown minus the sunflower. So let's write this down on here because you want to write on it, of course. For sunflower. You can just write a mark on the back. You just want to make sure you have something on the back. And I'm trying to think here of how we're going to do this. We could do it. We can do it. We got it. I was going to put some placement tape down, but I think if I did it with the multi-tool in the center, it would work fine. Just kind of go with that, right? Okay, so, and this is great about this is you can flip it multiple different ways, do different things on each side. Obviously, it's, it's a long rectangle. So, absolutely could do that. So, we're just going to do this. And then I'll do the sunflower. Hold on here. You just want to, like I said, you just want to make sure you're covering that silk screen. That is extremely important. So that's why I have multiple multi-tools, multiple detail tools. But the thing about that is obviously that you can clean them up, and you don't have to worry about that. So let's pull some of that off there. Pulling that off and kind of I know it's going to get a little bit into the flower petals, but it'll be okay. It'll be kind of like an ombre effect, which is fine. Okay, got a little pile going on here of tools. And then we'll do the Hey Pumpkin with a detail tool. I just noticed I have something in here, like a little piece of wood or something. It's weird. There we go, clean that off. Okay. And then just going around. Making sure to cover that silk screen. Alright. Oh my goodness, that just fell on the desk, but that's okay, it'll clean right up. And then fresh sunflowers sold here. Clean off my fingers here. Really quickly, let me clean up my hands before I grab that truck. For some odd reason, I get that Hey Pumpkin everywhere, and I don't know why, but I do. Okay, so, like I said, the truck didn't turn out exactly how we wanted it, but you know what, guys? It's actually kind of cute. It looks like an old rusty truck. Look at that. So it's not so bad. Not too bad. Oh, there we go. Let me lift this up so you guys can see better. So it does turn out okay. It's fine. Now, obviously, if I didn't want it to look like that, I could sand it right down and redo it. Or I could flip it to the other side, use the other transfer, and do it as well. And then this side can be flipped over and have those little balloons. Or, I'm sorry, the gourds and all of the fresh fruit. And you can use one of the other ones that says Farmer's Market. You can use Life is a Journey, Fill Your Tank with Joy. All of those pieces can be used 8 to 12 times. Thank you guys so much for watching. See, we made a little mistake, but it was fine. There's no such thing as chalk couture, like accidents. It's just, it turns out the way it's supposed to. All right, guys, I'll talk to you all soon. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you're watching this on a replay, put #replay. And thank you all for your support. Bye.